Hello everybody, it's Mary with Stamps-N-Lingers, and it is Thursday afternoon at 1 p.m. Eastern, which means it is time for a Facebook Live video. Looks like I'm actually going out on the interwebs, so that is a very, very good sign. And oh, by the way, I'm right side up and wrong side down, so that is a double whammy of goodness. For those of you who were watching the weather last night and were concerned about me, I thank you for all of the comments and the messages that I've gotten. We did well. The first band was pretty much a non-event, although it got really, really dark at 3:30 in the afternoon. But then about midnight, 11:30 or so, we had one doozy of a lightning storm. I mean, it was getting it now, but there was no tornadic events happening at our neck of the woods, and so that was really good. Hey Rosie, appreciate you joining. Hi Karen. I hoped everybody would enjoy this one, so we'll see if I can do it twice in a row. Hey Brooke, hi Marva, appreciate you coming. Thank you so much. And right now, our next thing we have to worry about is whether it gets down to freezing overnight on Saturday. And but we left everything in place so we can protect our little plantlings. So hopefully they'll make it through. Hey, Catherine, appreciate you coming. Okay, so what I want to show you today, this is a card made entirely with the new He's the Man suite, which will be available to you on the 3rd of May. In the new 2022-2023 annual catalog. Hello, Marcia and Sylvia and Faith and Lisa. Appreciate you joining. This is a wonderful set. I know that many of us have trouble when we have a need for a card for a dude or a guy or a man or however you'd like to call him. But this new catalog has got some really cool stamp sets and suites, and this is one of them. It's called He's the Man. It is anchored by the He's All That stamp set. You can see that it's a Father's Day and just kind of a generic. It's got a birthday, Together for the Long Haul, Every Day is Another Adventure, Holy Smokes, You're Amazing. So it's a fun set, and it has some really cute dies. And I'm going to use several of them, actually, and so you'll get to see what they do and how to make that happen. So we've got the He's All That bundle with the what is it called? The All That dies. So He's All That stamp set and the All That dies. Then there is the He's the Man DSP, and it is wonderful. Now, this is kind of a different pack of DSP for you guys when it comes time to get them. Hi, Linda. Hi, Rosie. I'm cutting out on my audio. I'm sorry. Is it better now? Hopefully it's not frozen. So maybe it'll come back here in just a second, Rosie. Hopefully it'll get better. This is the He's the Man DSP, and you can see it is very masculine. It's in early espresso, Sahara sand, soft succulent, Cajun craze, and black. It has black in there as well. What's fun about this set is instead of 6 two-sided sheets, you're going to get 5 two-sided sheets, and then you're going to get 2 12 by 12 sheets that until you pull out all the die cuts look like this. So that is what I have done. I had 2 sheets like this, and I took every single die cut out and put it in a stamp case. And there's a couple of reasons for that. First off, they do want to fall out a little bit, and so it's easy to lose them. The other thing is as I was taking them out, my brain was going, oh, look how cute that is. I could do this and that and the other, and oh, that's fun. And oh, I could put those together. You get 2 of each one. And so it's kind of handy to touch them and feel them and see what they're going to do for you. So that's my recommendation. Putting them in a stamp case keeps them handy, keeps them safe, keeps them from getting all mangled up. And, you know, it's handy. Okay, so I'm going to get rid of this because it is, in fact, trash. And I'm going to put this aside. Okay, so as usual, all of the die cuts will be on my blog tomorrow. Here's our card again. You can see I've used some DSP on the front. Hi, Fran. Hi, Fran. Hi, Daryl. And then this is on the inside. Okay, so let's get started, shall we? I'm starting with a piece of this DSP pattern. And you can see what it had on the back is the Early Espresso Argyle. And I am just going to adhere this to the front of a Cajun crushed curry cardstock base. Now, fair truth in demonstrating, I got a lot of the ideas for this card from the samples in the new catalog. So, y'all, everybody uses the samples in the new catalogs. everybody uses the samples in the old catalogs. The Stampin' Up! Designers are pretty darned amazing, just throwing that out there, and they really make beautiful cards. So I don't see anything wrong with casing their cards, pulling elements from cards from one card to another. And that is kind of what I did here. Okay, so I've adhered it. It's the size of my card front. And then I used a couple of the die cuts from the sticker set. Okay, so let me just dump these out here. That is not a die cut from the die set. I'm going to say stickers, and that's totally inaccurate because there's no adhesive on it. Okay, so no adhesive. But this is one of the die cuts, and so I'm going to end up putting it here. And then I've got these two little frame corners, and I thought they would be cute up in, well, the corners. I thought putting the corners in the corners would be a really good idea. So that's what I did with a little liquid glue. Thank you, Cindy. I appreciate you coming, and I'm glad you're enjoying what you're seeing. Thank you so very much. All right. There, we're going to put that in the corner. I'm using my highly calibrated Mark 1 eyeball to be sure it's exactly correct, by which I mean mostly correct. And then I'll do the same again over here. Now, you could, if you wanted, and I should have because that's how I roll, I should have dimensionalized that, but I didn't. I'm trying to be, you know, flatter. Okay. All right. So now we'll do the same with this die. I love this particular die cut with that kind of frayed edge. It looks like somebody just ripped a piece out of a notebook, and I think it's so cute. So I'm just going to put a little bit of liquid glue on there, and I'm putting it down in the corner. Could you put it in the middle? Of course, but why not? Do something different every once in a while. Shake it up, baby. Okay. Now, let's talk die cuts. This is a really cute die set, okay? And it's the All That dies. And I have done a couple of die cuts to begin with, okay? This is one of the Cajun Craze pieces out of the DSP, and I cut it with that round circle. So you can see you get not only a scalloped edge, you get an embezzlement. Ooh, that's a new word. You get an embellishment. An embezzlement. There's a beveled groove around the edge that gives just a little bit of a oomph to it. These two cute dies I used to cut out what really is like argyle, right? And I did those with Early Espresso. And then you've got these cute little banner tails. This die right here cuts two at once, and I've done that with some soft succulent, because that's the coordinating colors and because I'm a rule follower. And then this gives you a die that is kind of like a curved banner end. So I've cut two of those from crushed curry. All right, so very fun. And of course you also have a rectangle that actually cuts out this sentiment in the set. You have this die that is perfect for wishing you a happy Father's Day. This die actually cuts both these circles, and the oval works on the Holy Smokes. Okay, the rest of them are standalone. You've got this die right here actually cuts this little dude right here. Okay, so kind of a cool stamp set and die, by which I mean very cool. Okay. How many times have I said, okay, somebody just start, counting and stuff. Fun, and just start counting with stuff. All right, now I'm going to show you a little, well, first let's put these on. What I did here is I just put a little bit of liquid glue on these larger diamonds. And then watch how technical I am about lining things up. I lined the tip up with that top, tear out and put it on straight. And then I eyeballed the other kitty corner-ish and lined it up with that third one, just like that. Okay. All right. Now these little guys are going to go on like so. And here is another tip that will make this much more easier. Much more easier. Yes. Adhere these together off campus, as it were. Okay. And if you turn them catty corner upside down to each other, then you'll see they're really essentially the same. So what I did is I put a little liquid glue on the crushed curry one, and I didn't do that. Don't do that. Turn it the other way, goofus, like that. And I'm just kind of centering it in the die cut, like so. And then I'll do the other one the exact same way. That way they're both kind of the same length. They have the same exposure out from under the rest of the dies, and they're one heck of a lot easier to get lined up to do a dry fit. Just ask me why I know this. All right, so these are going to go like so. And when you're going to line up, remember this one is opposite of that, but you're trying to create the look for this card of this banner going all the way through. So you wouldn't want it to be like this, right? You'd want it to be like so. So now what you have when you cover this up is it looks like this banner goes like that, and this banner goes straight across, okay? So there's the beauty of, one, putting these together because you can make sure you're getting that right, and two, it really helps to do a dry fit and take a look at it. So let's go ahead and adhere these with liquid glue. Yeah, I am covering up a cute shape, but it was so easy to make that I'm happy with it. There we go. And it's part of the charm of a collage. As stuff gets covered up and is piled up, it's kind of like Farrah Fawcett's hair. All right, there we go. And the cool thing is when you make one, if you don't want to cover up the shape, you can make it however works for you. That's the beauty of having all of these wonderful, wonderful things that we sell. Okay, now I'm going to go ahead and take a couple of dimensionals, and I'm going to stack them onto the cardstock like so. You don't need doubles. They will work just fine as singles over the top of those die cuts right there. And then this little guy is going to be adhered in the middle, right on those little die cut guys. Okie dokie. You know what I love, and this is how silly I am. I love that this die right here cuts them both out at once. I don't know why that makes me so happy, but it did. Really did. It was like, okay. And I really do love those little Argyle die cuts. Okie dokie. So now we're just going to center that like a so. And then look what I've got. One of the die cuts says, "You make me hoppy." Get it? It's beer made out of hops. So it's like a pun, little joke. Very funny. I know. You're laughing on the inside. You're laughing on the inside. And I'm just going to use a little bit of liquid glue there to adhere that right in the middle of that circle die. Okay. Now, all that is left to do is put some of these cute little stars, yellow moons, pink hearts. And these are from the die cuts in the DSP. I'm going to go ahead and put those like so. Where are you, other die cut? Oh, other star. Other star. There it is. It was stuck in the bottom of my dish. Didn't want to come out. It's the soft succulent one. Soft succulent is known to be shy. It's just, I mean, his name is soft succulent. So he's kind of doomed to shyness. I'll put him right there. And then look at these new little doohickey doodads. These are rustic metallic adhesive back dots. They're part of the suite. And you get a whole bunch of them, like a bunch. Like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 times a bunch. In 2 sizes, and they're kind of brass. And so what I'm going to do is adhere a few of those as well. I'm going to put one right there. And then I'm going to put one little one and one big one. And I'm calling it voila. Very cute. I love these dies. You know what I really love? I wanted to show you something on one of them. Let me show you. What I am not a fan of with die cut pieces that you get pre-done is they almost always have a white border, right? These do not. They have a border that works with the other die cuts if they have a border at all, or they are like this where there's no border at all. That's a tree, so I should hold it that way. Okay, I really like that. To me, that makes these much more usable. See, no border around this little sentiment. Very cool. Now, you are in the know about what Mary loves about that die set sheet. Now, for the inside, I've got a piece of way too big early espresso, so let me give that a quick cut. Make sure it's actually 4 inches wide before I go trying to do anything with it. All right. Sorry about that. Sorry about that. And I decided this would be cute on Very Vanilla. Yes, Judy, you are watching live. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to take this big set. Now, you could find a good birthday sentiment. You could you could use the Happy Father's Day if that was where you were rolling with it. But I just wanted kind of a generic card. So I am using To the Man Who Does Everything, which means actually this would be a very good card for my husband because he pretty much can and does do everything. So I'm not very familiar with this stamp yet, so I'm going to line it up on a grid and see if I did a good job putting the sticker on, and if they did a good job putting the carving that sentiment onto the rubber. And it's pretty good. I think it looked pretty straight, so I'm going to go ahead and just get it as straight as I can get it. We'll hold it down for a beat without rocking the boat. 9-week-old kitten. Oh my goodness, how fun. I miss my kitties. I miss my kitties. Okay, and that should be good. I like it. Then I'm going to take this. Oh wait, let me keep this out because I'm going to use this little corner die. See, you have the corner die. So when you run out of corner die cuts in your sheet, which you might do quickly because they're cool, you could actually stamp this on white or vanilla and fussy cut that, and then you would have your own little corner. What I'm going to do is I'm going to stamp these in the corners of my of my cardstock. What I'm going to do is I'm going to line the edge of the stamp itself, not the image, the edge of the stamp itself with the edge of the cardstock. And when I do that on both sides, they'll be equally distant from the edges. Does that make sense? All right, so I'm just lining the left side and the bottom up over here as best I can. And it's a pretty straight set. It's a pretty straight stamp, so it should be pretty good. And who puts their corners on perfectly anyway? I'll take that. And then we'll do one in the upper corner in the same exact way. And I'm just holding it a beat. Oh, I'm sorry, Jenny, that is sad. And there we go. So now we have 2 stamped corners. Now I can put the early espresso away before I have an inkastrophe. And I'll pull out my Cajun Craze. And I'm going to stamp the little number 1, but I want to show you something important. These little stamps, it's really hard for them to get everything centered. You can see that it's really not completely centered on the stamp. So this is a good one to know in your head what it's doing, which means you really do want to do a pre-stamp so that you can see how it's working. And also what is true with nearly every single stamp, and certainly with these littler ones, is you really don't want to rock the boat trying to get a good stamp because of course, if I'm talking about it, it won't happen. But it's never mind. It's very easy to get a halo, okay? Just don't. Now watch. I promise you, I will get a halo on this image right here. I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. Here it comes. You ready? Are you ready? Are you ready? Okay. Here we go. I'm just going to put this right here, and I'm going to hold it a beat, and I'm not trying to make a halo. I do not want to make a halo. I'm just holding it down so I get a nice stamped image, and there we go. All right. Thank you, guys. I love this little set. It's very cute. But I'm going to try to get the Cajun Craze off of my fingers so that I don't have to employ my eraser. Not saying I've not already done that on this card once today, maybe twice. We'll just use a little liquid glue. I'm putting it on an early espresso mat. I like the quiet colors. I really like early espresso, Cajun Craze, and crushed curry. It's a really classic color combination, and it's kind of perfect. And since we built this card front on the front of the card base, this is all we have to do. This will be our last thing for the card. Pretty, huh? By pretty, of course, I mean handsome, because it's for a guy. All right, so there's that. Now let's go ahead and decorate up a very vanilla envelope. And for that, I'm going to do some more corners in early espresso. Thank you, guys. I appreciate you. And we're going to do the same where I'm lining up the side, the left edge and the bottom edge of the stamp itself, of the rubber stamp itself, with the bottom and left side of the envelope. And I'm just holding it. And then we'll do the same over here. And it'll help if you just turn your envelope and do the same lineup. It's a geometry thing. It's still going to be fine. And hold it like so. And then we're going to stamp number 1 so that your recipient knows that he is number 1 in your book. A little more Cajun Craze. And we're going to give it a jaunty angle there like that. And hold it for a beat. There we go. And then I'm going to put some more of the DSP on the envelope flap. I know you can't use all the bling. It was hard. I really wanted to find a place to put like a double loop linen thread bow or something, but I tried to keep it dudish. There we go. And we're just going to use a little bit of liquid glue on our envelope flap. And some of the, you could also use the Cajun Craze one, but I liked the fact that I had the Sahara Sand and the Cajun Craze. It would have been a lot of rust color on here, but if that's your favorite color or your recipient's favorite color, then you could certainly use that other DSP. Actually, you could probably use any of them in the pack, and you would be fine. You'd be fine-ski. What I love about this card is that like half of the die cutting is already done for me. There is zero fussy cutting involved. Amy should be very happy about that. And it goes together really fast. I am really loving the die cuts. It would be really cool, Stampin' Up, are you listening? If there were refills for just the die cuts available. That would be a cool thing, and I think people would enjoy it. Alrighty then, there you go. I now have 2 cards for dudes who do everything. And it took me, what, 20 minutes? Okay, it took me 20 minutes to make one. That is not very long to make a card, right? All right, guys, I appreciate you having spending part of your day with me, and I hope you have a great rest of your week. Looking forward to seeing you on Saturday at 7 p.m. Eastern on my YouTube channel. I appreciate it if you can join me. Probably have another sneak peek. It's that time of year. Also, just so you know, I'll be doing paper shares for this new catalog. My plan is to post the shares on Monday on my blog. So if you're not already signed up, but you're interested in paper shares, go ahead and follow my blog now, Stampsandlingers.com, so that you will get the notice of that. It'll be very similar paper share as to all of the other times, and I hope you'll join in. We have great papers. All right. Thanks so much, guys. We'll see ya.